Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. I wanted to give an update. We titled it the safety update, but as always, things that we do work in the system, answering those three critical questions of why we do this work, how we do it, and what are the outcomes. Using today as that feedback loop with our vision of loving and growing our students with the mission that we have approved through our strategic planning process. Tonight, I want to focus on providing a safe, secure, and equitable learning environment to our students and to our staff. If you recall, at our last board meeting, akin our program of safety and security to the same strategy used to protect aircraft carriers in our U.S. Navy. None has never been lost in combat because of the protection system, the multi-layered security system around an aircraft carrier. And so you would think, how such a target that can be easily hit, such a big target, is protected? It is through communication, compartmentalization, and radar awareness. When we look at what that looks like for a school, we want to take that same multi-layered school security system approach, communication with our sheriff's departments and our safety team, the Stop It app that allows us tons of information, compartmentalization, which are the screenings, the cameras, door sensors, barricade protocols, and security personnel. We're excited that for the current year, we will have an SRO or a armed security personnel at every school within our district. And then awareness, which is our partnership with Chief Keel at SLED and his behavior unit, as well as our mental health and mental illness treatment. We want to thank the board for approving us to move forward with getting some assistance to help with our mental health and our mental illness programming. When you see that our school counselors have a caseload of 106 and social workers with 102 per social work per month, you know that it becomes increasingly difficult to meet the needs of our students with mental health and mental illnesses. As we deal with an average of 39 suicide evaluations per month, we believe that these services will help us meet the needs of the students with mental health and mental illness in our district. We want to focus a little bit today on the compartmentalization, providing those multiple layers of protection along the way. You all were a part of our planning. You participated in our open gate metal detector demonstration at the University of South Carolina during graduation. You saw Captain Scott Ellis demonstrate this. I want to thank our safety team and Dr. Harris. We had all of our administrators at our Superintendent Summit to do a demonstration on this as well. But I've asked Mr. Ross Wise to come forward. He's on our safety team. We had a visit from FBI Special Agent Brandon Lackey of the Violence Reduction Unit to meet with us, walk with our safety team, walk with our facility personnel, and help us look at some of these blind spots. So I asked him to come forward in terms of things that we can share publicly, share your findings.
Good evening, board members, Dr. Ross. Like you said, we were very lucky. We had FBI Agent Brandon Lackey come. He spent a good amount of time with us last week. We were able to hit 3 different schools throughout the district. We looked at an elementary level, a middle, and a high school layout for the different schools. We chose those schools based on their unique layout or the fact that their layout was very similar to a bunch of schools in our district. So going forward, we examined the front entrances. That was a main focus point on that. But we also went around the schools. And I'm happy to bring back that we're very proactive. They were very impressed with what we're doing. what we have in this district. This is kind of mirroring what SLED said the week prior. We had Special Agent Wayne Freeman come out, and both FBI and SLED, the consensus, along with the safety office facilities, is the front entrance. We're looking at hardening the front entrance, enhancing the security of the front entrance. One other group that did accompany us with these safety assessments was architectural company, and they were able to sit in on all our conversations. And through those conversations, they're going to be going around. They went today and tomorrow, and they're going to look at the remaining schools and kind of come up with an assessment of how we can proceed with securing those entryways and a possible estimate by the end of the week, hopefully. And I don't want to go into too much further details like Dr. Ross said, because I don't want to affect the integrity of our security, but I am open to any questions if the board members have, or Dr. Ross.
Mr. Loveth.
Yeah, Mr. Ross, Mr. Wise, I'm sorry, Ross Wise. I'm always calling you Ross, but anyway. I look back at the MB-Con report, and I believe what I saw was that were 7 schools that were talking about hardening the entrance, if you want to use the terms. And some of those schools, it seemed to be that there were a lot more difficult than others. And I'm assuming that you took the FBI and SLED to the most difficult, to protect. And we saw some instances on school visits where the back of the schools were also suspect, not just the front entrances. And so I know, without getting into details, but there's construction materials that you can use to keep light coming in, but you can still protect. And I've got some information that I gathered from Piney Woods that I could send to you on that material.
We would definitely like that, sir. More information we have, the better on that. I will tell you, some of the schools we stopped at, yes, they were unique in their front entrance, and that's why we chose those. And in reference to the other entryways, because we have car rider lines and bus lines, that was part of the conversation with those different entities about security. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? We appreciate that.
Thank
I
you.
know that safety's always on the forefront of every parent's mind, as well as our school board. B.
All right. I want to ask Ms. Connie Graham, our Director of Finance, to come forward with our monthly financials. I wasn't clicking through. All right.
Oops, I'm sorry. Madam Chair, members of the board, and Dr. Ross, as you can see, there's our, this is a copy of our monthly revenues from local sources through the end of April. We received most of our tax dollars in January, February, and March, and so we have received 93.23% of the local revenue already through the end of April. The state sources, we've received 81.6% of those, and this puts us right on target what we have, because we have 2 more months to receive for the fiscal year. The revenues received through April 30th, 2021 and 2022 are very close to each other, so we're about 85% of those. That's on that last line, comparing the 2 years. Are there any questions on revenues?
Any questions? Seeing none, thank you.
The expenditures are a little ahead of last year for salaries and fringe because the teachers did not receive their steps until June 15th. Also, bonuses were paid this year are a little higher than those were last year because we did the $50 Friday. So salary, this compares the actual year to date and also as of April 30th, 2021. Are there any questions on that?
Any questions?
Okay.
I see none.
you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Madam Chair, with that, that concludes the superintendent's report.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes of June 13th, 2022 board meeting, and item 13. Do I have a motion?
Yes.
Mr. Lovelace, thank you.
I'll make the motion. I move that we approve the minutes of the June 13th, 2022 board meeting.
Is there a second? Ms. Huddle seconds. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that is 6, and you abstain because you missed that. 14, public participation.
Again, just one speaker for public participation. Madam Chair, Ms. Kim Murphy of Chapin to speak about the fund balance.
Okay.
Good evening again. I just kind of want to reiterate the use of fund balance. And the NEST program might be a wonderful program. I don't know that we've heard that much about it, but adding 24 FTEs is huge and a huge impact on the budget moving forward. And there's been really no discussion about that. And I'd request that you consider holding off on approving the fund balance items tonight, approve the budget, and have further discussion about the programs, the cost benefit, and I'd go from there. But particularly the debt service, don't go into that yet. Don't transfer taxpayer money for that yet, because there's already a huge fund balance from previous boards and leadership. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Murphy?